No. The answer is no. It looked bad because of the incompetent people leading and managing the project. You think I'm exaggerating? Apparently, this game cost at least $400 million to make. Because it sucked so bad, Sony had to step in and inject more money for it to work. Not surprisingly, there are reports from anonymous sources that Firewalk Studios had a toxic positivity problem. What a shame, dude. Woke is one of those words that don't even mean anything nowadays. Some people are very dumb and use it to describe anything they don't like. And listen bro, you can play all the gacha games with big titty waifus all you want. It's cool. More power to you. Each audience desires and buys very specific products, and sometimes we stumble upon a product we don't like, and that's okay. If you're a responsible and reasonable person, you will just say, "Hey man, this ain't for me, bro." That is what you should do, unless the product is clearly bad and or pretending to care about something it doesn't. In that case, tear it apart. Make videos, start discussions. Let's break it down through the lens of an artist and gamer. Although the game was technically impressive with good textures and lighting, that was completely wasted because those things can only work or improve already good character design and gameplay. All of the characters moved way too slow and the game modes didn't bring anything new to the park. The game worked just fine, but that doesn't mean it was good. It actually had some new ideas with the crew system and the rivalry mode, but they weren't good. If Concord was released maybe 3 to 5 years ago, would it have any real success? I don't think so. But it would have lasted more than 12 days, but no more than 1 to 2 years. It has that classic vibe of, we want to thank the community for all of this support throughout the years, but the Concord servers will be shut down. Aside from the looks, the game was not even that bad, it was just mid. People tend to classify games in 2 categories, perfect or trash, no in between. It worked, and besides some crashing on some machines, the game ran fine. But that's it, it was fine. That's not nearly enough to compete with the big dogs. You gotta be really fucking good to have the slightest chance at the live service market. When Concord was announced, people looked at it and said, "Bro thinks he's on the team." They did not like it at all. It looked like it was gonna be some corporate approved version of Guardians of the Galaxy, maybe a co-op campaign 80s sci-fi game, which, to be fair, sounds pretty cool. Then Sony revealed it to be another hero shooter. People lost their shit. Sony was not ready for the tsunami of frustrated people. Throughout the years, the number of hero shooters, or at least games that would implement the hero systems, would skyrocket, many of which have failed or shut down before launching. Side note, shout out to The Amazing Eternals, an actual 80s sci-fi hero shooter that looked cool but didn't see the light of day, and to Lemnis Gate, a futuristic FPS where you control 5 characters, each at a time and taking turns with the enemy. Companies realized that having a charismatic character with cool designs sold like fucking water, but they did not put the same effort that games like Team Fortress 2, Overwatch, and Apex Legends did. The mocap for the game wasn't very polished or was intentionally left the way it was. The human characters had decent models in a vacuum, but they looked very uncanny, giving it that creepy look. Apex Legends is a game with a realistic style, but the animators did a great job to polish and exaggerate the character expressions and movement. And then there's the elephant in the room, character design. The vomit greens and yellows, the sausage armor, the boring and stereotypical personalities are the fault of some out-of-touch higher-ups. This leads to the comment I made in the first episode of Pro Artist Fixes Concord Designs, where I said that the characters catered to activists. What I meant was that it catered to Twitter activists. You know the type, multiple flags in their bio, thinks that gender and sexuality are a personality trait, hates white people, are actually racist but pretend they're not. calls a bigot anyone who doesn't 100% agree with what they say and think. And this is not a political take. You can see clear signs that at least one person obsessed with identity politics had a big role in the studio. First, rejection of femininity. Well, you've got boobs? Sorry, we can't have that here. Also, you're too conventionally attractive? Yeah, it discriminates other people. This stems from the notion that women can't be feminine because it would be done to appeal to the male gaze. I should have actually said rejection of beauty, because humans are very social beings, and being attractive is an extremely desirable trait to have, because everyone wants to feel like they belong and are needed. You should be proud of your traits and do your best to enhance them and minimize the bad stuff. This applies to your physical, emotional, and personality traits. Just like in literature, mythology, and comic books, hero shooter characters should be more than human. They should be and embrace what is most desired and cherished by the audience. That doesn't mean every character should be a 10 out of 10 Vogue magazine supermodel, but they need to look good. They might not have the best facial or body features, but they should have lots of charisma, which is a combination of how they present and act themselves. Second, obsession with diversity. This game was made to please the modern audience, which has proven to be a lie time and time again. In my opinion, they made a very offensive lineup of characters, because each one of them seems like tokenized and stereotypical versions of a group of people. It feels awful. A game being progressive is not an issue. Apex Legends and Overwatch are very progressive games, and people, me included, love them. We don't care that a character is gay or non-binary because it's not like the game is trying to teach us a lesson. And most of all, that's just one of their attributes. They have depth, and they are not tokenized and stereotypical versions of a minority. Concord exudes the feeling of be polite and friendly to everyone all of the time. It seems just like a nice thing to do, but it's taken to the extreme. Hence the term toxic positivity. There's nothing wrong with being wholesome. Take a look at Overwatch. It's very lighthearted and it works because the characters have a lot of charisma. Concord feels like sanitized, CEO-approved bullshit. Being diverse is a cool thing, but it doesn't make a game automatically good, and hero shooter characters should not be a checklist of labels. Third, pronouns in the bio. Actually, that's not really a problem. It's odd at best, but it does feel like corporate decision. All of this political bullshit that people are tired of might make some of you in the audience think that politics have no place in video games. But if done correctly, it can enhance it. Just take a look at Metal Gear, Crusader Kings, and Disco Elysium. Hell, even Spore! Fucking Spore had some politics in the later stages of the game. The problem solely lies in the hands of people with power that use it to create artificial problems with artificial solutions. I believe everyone deserves a good product. Even if I don't like it, even if I'm not the target audience, I can tell if it was made with love and care or by corporate greed. Concord failed and looked that bad not because it was woke, but because it was a mediocre product with an ugly coat of paint and managed by an incompetent and narcissistic leadership. I hope this serves as a lesson. I hope Firewalk Studios developers, who are actually talented and didn't have anything to do with the awful parts, get a second chance. The people that want to force DEI don't even care about the problem they're trying to fix. They just see themselves as the moral and political authority over everything, and think they can speak for every single person in minority groups. My message to them is the following: leave video games alone. Minorities need help with real problems in real life. The murder of trans people, the police brutality against black people, people from different ethnicities being discriminated and not getting jobs because they're from abroad. The world is fucked, and most people are just trying to pass by. Video games were made to entertain and bring people together, not to please some dumbasses with egos so inflated a grass blade would pop it like a balloon. Video games are a form of art, and should be respected as such. This has been Zato Tecnoar, and let's drink some water, dude.